This is what bulls need to defend. And it's kind of slipping. Slip, slip, slip. This is very exciting. Gap filled. Interesting. Ooh. NQ lost 27.25. I really don't think bulls want a test of 35 here. They don't want to lose 40 at all. Their support falls off really hard if they do. Gamma already starts to slip right around here. If 40 were lost, it would fall off maybe too fast for the knife to be caught quickly. But there's a chance that the MM might prefer 35 or 30. Defense? Yeah, but lower high. Might have just been short calls closing. Sold stack of 5,800 puts. Much larger. The sold calls to the upside are huge. There's like 8,400, 9,400 at 45.50, and then like sold puts are like half that at 40, 35, 30. So the decay isn't really favoring the puts here. The calls are a little heavier. As long as we're under 45, they are. Yo, Gurkity, what's hippity, what's happening? Help a pickle son out with some mad stock Skrilla. We bussin' or blooping? I don't know. We could actually do either one. It's pretty undetermined. We may just close right here, honestly. But both positions are pretty stacked on either side. NQ has some strength, but like S&P and ES look kind of weak. Or SPX and ES. Dow and Russell aren't doing very well today. RSP is underperforming, so there's not a lot of breadth. Most of it's a push into tech prior to the tech earnings tonight. And so it has the chance of being really volatile if tech were to slip or pump. There could be like a pretty decent amount of range away from spot into close. But sometimes this shit just like gets over compressed and we just don't move, right? We've only got 10 minutes left right now, so it's getting kind of risky. Ooh, price me up. No more. No. I'll take it. Woo! How beautiful. You make me so angry. Sells them, buys again, sells them again, all in 30 seconds. Well, I wanted my other $1,000. Could have been more. There was a valid reason to not have a stop on them, but there's a decent chance we could close at like 35. However, I think bulls could also just try to pump here. I know I burned up all my day trades. Lame. Worth it, but lame. It was only like 300% returns in 2 minutes. Negative $945 day, made green, plus 32 bucks. Those will forever be my favorite $32. How much you made on both? Looks like 1,577. It's like 100%. A little less than 100%. The extra 100% was priceless on the 5 contracts. Well, I knew if it slipped 40, it was gonna go down even harder. So I figured I'd stop at 40, wait for the bounce, and then if it didn't bounce, just go back in. AQN 482. Ooh. That's cheap. It's like a new low. Yeah, rates. I mean, as long as rates keep going up, utilities are gonna get hammered. Which is, if it's something you're long on, that's a nice opportunity. It's not too dissimilar than going like long bonds when rates rise, right? Any companies with like big debt burdens, and utilities tend to have the worst because they pay so much money for infrastructure. But AQN's sitting on like a few billion in cash right now, so I'm not too worried about them. I said we could close at 35. I think bulls will try to push back at some point here, but it doesn't seem to be working out too well for them. We tested almost the bottom of the box. We may still test it, like that 33 test, and then bulls will sell the fuck out of the 30 and the 25. I love boxes, Kirk. I think I speak for the majority of people here when I say yes. AQN about as safe a bet as you can make? No, I mean they have risk. Obviously, that's why they're cheap. They could definitely fuck up, right? But so far, right, they've shut down their green energy business, sold it off. You know, they haven't gotten rid of their water treatment business, which I think is more profitable, and if they keep it, commands a higher PE. But if rates are high and there's a risk that they're going to have to refinance at higher rates, their price is going to go down. That's why it ran so hard after the initial purchase when rates popped a little. Hold on. I'm going to switch to the cash account and buy whatever my option is out of the money is $5. What? That's bullshit. Oh. Oh no. Come on, bulls. You have 2 minutes. Turn it around. You can do it. If this closes below 30, bulls get pretty hard. There's a lot of 30, 35 sold puts. For 30 seconds. Oh no, I wanted to buy the 35. God damn it. Whatever. It's not gonna print anyway. Crushed by charm. Oof. Ouch. I know, my $9 loss here is staggering. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll think of something. Did I just boof? I don't know. Maybe. I'm sorry about your calls that I really hope you closed, Dork. You had that $60 profit on them and they were looking real sweet. Alright. Let's look at stuff. So, actually closing a little bit closer to flat on the day, despite the upside move. And we did test, came a little lower than what I was anticipating. I kind of called like 41 bips to the upside. I think we only got like 39. But anyway, opened a little lower with a future sell-off into market open. That was partially because futures moved below gamma neutral into close, right? So we got a little bit of a sell-off of the market maker hedge at open. That bounced back. Some sold calls were built up around 5,800. Moved back up towards 5,850. Ultimately failed that into close. And then obviously the overnight action tonight is going to be dependent on tech earnings. We're still really close to gamma neutral here. I think we can still chop in this range, but the upward trajectory of this bear flag is starting to look pretty weak. It's already failed one breakout. It's starting to fail. It's starting to fail again, and I think we'll start to see some more weakness into the back half of the week, especially as event vol continues to rise. Right? Event vol isn't going to be shaken off tonight. We've got GDP, right? And then more event vol is going to pick up for NFP, right? And we're getting closer to the election. So we've got, overarching, event vol being priced in that's like 14, 21, 30 days out. We've got FOMC also coming up. So there's a lot of risk being priced into the market. And as that risk is priced in, it makes these sold put positions a little more dangerous every day. Fortunately, there was a little bit of a pullback in yields today, and not too much of a pullback in dollars. So not too much of a collapse in the spread in the carry. But the softening in the yields, probably helps out a little bit. Not for margin requirements or anything, and I think we're starting to see some of that even leverage off into like crypto and gold. Crypto and gold are trying to carry a lot of that dollar risk right now. I mean, crypto obviously not nearly as much as gold because it's a significantly smaller market, but something to consider. We popped back up above the upside trend today. Lost it there a little bit at close. It looks like we're kind of chopping here with tech earnings. Let's see what we got on Google. Google up a bit, so it looks like they got a beat. Who else was tonight? AMD, Visa. So let's see how those are looking. Looks like AMD's got a little bit of a pop here after hours, but not much. Looks like a little gap up on Visa. Not too big a one. Snap, Chipotle, Reddit, Chubb, Enovix. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Google's gains are pretty decent here, but it looks like they're pulling back a little bit. Some of that'll obviously be based later on guidance and not just revenue or EPS beat. SMCI doesn't matter. They're tiny, right? Market cap weighted index, and SMCI's market cap is not substantial. Commodities up a little bit today. Oil popped up this morning and then slipped back down again, but precious metals and agricultural commodities seem to still be doing well. Industrials and materials down a little bit. Yields kind of moderated today, as did the dollar. Correlation started to break down into the end of the day, pop back with the tech earning beat, but it looks like NQ is still down from where it was, so not a substantial amount of pressure coming from that beat. Forward yield on volatility still above zero, 3.84% into the end of the day. Carry leverage still around 8x at the top end, like 7x in the short paper. Bond vol moving up, correlation still moving down, so the spread there is getting even wider. Skew not doing much. We're probably not going to see it too much this week at all. We'll probably just see it modulate out into Friday. 48.7% of the S&P above its 20-day moving average. And if we look out here at RSP, right, RSP really didn't perform very well today. So not a lot of breadth coming in. Most of today's pump to the upside, or at least our bounce, was driven by tech, largely due to the increased volatility in those chains as they approach their earnings, right? Which is, a pretty consistent and predictable effect. But yeah, Russell, Dow, both down on the day. Dow down 31 points, Russell down 27. Neither of those benefit greatly from rising rates. Breadth will improve if rates come down. With rates up, and dollar strength, everything goes to tech for the most part. Fed fund futures modulated a little bit today with the auctions and the JOLTS data, but not much, right? It wasn't a big enough miss to scare people, but it wasn't a beat either. So, the insane bullishness that would have been possible on a beat, we did not get, and we didn't get a big enough miss for it to be bearish yet. Now, if ADP comes in soft, and NFP comes in cooler, we could see more of the impact from JOLTS felt out later in the week. But I kind of told everybody before this week, everything's really positioned at that like 58.35 level, right? With a break point at 58.50 and 58.20 to the downside. And so a lot of our moves, a lot of our data this week will probably push us into these outer bounds. But it's very likely we mean revert back to the majority of the positioning and continue to kind of just trade at 35. That is until NFP, and NFP could actually push a larger move either way, right? Of course, if NFP is flat, then this kind of shit will just continue until the next major volatile event, which is a little bit depressing. Spread on the 10-2 about 15.3% positive, so that pulled back a little bit towards the end of the day today. I think this is on the 15-minute. And the spread's a little tighter than it was last Wednesday, but not really pulling back to inversion yet. And you can probably just look at this, right? Like you got like a pretty simple trend there. If that starts to pull back under, positive 12%, we might be starting to reinvert. Reinversion would be extraordinarily bullish for tech. Then you're talking like dollar to like 106, 108, pushing up really high. But it also exposes risk in the financial sector, right? Because that also means rates. I think the 10-year hit 4.33 this morning. Above 4.5, smaller regional banks are going to start to feel pressure. Above 5, most regional banks are going to start to feel pressure, and some of the GSIBs a little bit. Above 5.5, the GSIBs start to get hit pretty hard. Above 6, shit just starts blowing up. So, still a lot of danger in the top side of those potential yields. But to see that, I think we would have to see inflation get substantially hotter very quickly, and we're not there yet, I don't think. Basel's gotten deferred out so many fucking times. As I expected this week, the financial sector not performing very well as these rates continue to climb, but we are seeing pretty good performance out of tech. Most other sectors actually not doing well, right? Outside of Amazon, retail trades doing horribly. Even Costco is down. Producer manufacturing, not hot. Minerals, utilities, durables, health services, all down, right? Consumer services kind of flat, and health tech kind of flat. If rates get too high and there's a lot of worry, we might start to see some like flight to safety stuff like UNH and Humana pick up some interest. But I think right now we don't have to worry about that. If I wanted like a hedge against tech falling, I would probably look towards like UNH or Humana. I think they're both fairly cheap right now, and that would be usually the like health services is kind of a flight to safety from tech services. So if we see like Microsoft or Meta miss, I know IBM's guidance wasn't all that hot, then we may see some risk off and some rotation into health services. Anyway, that's about it. Yep. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I hope everyone made some money off that end of day. That shit was pretty sweet. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.